Everybody went silent then.
There you go. It's all right. I've just turned the mics on. My eyesight's awful. If I put my glasses on, it's worse.
You wear your glasses.
Well, it's that distance, isn't it? It's that distance. Well, I put them on top of my head. They work better. Anyway, don't let me interrupt you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Two Men in a Late Night Vape Show, because sadly, one is not available. He's a bit busy tonight, so we'll hopefully get him on at some other time. So we've got the brothers. You look like you're in the same house. You've got the same lighting.
If I'm honest with you, I'm wearing the same underpants as well. So we share.
But if you look at me and Bill, we've both got white walls. We look like we're in the same house as well, although he's over in Kentucky.
We used to try to hand stuff, like I'd pull it this way and Mick would be there. We tried that one time where it's just like I had a vape here and I was like, here you go, and then I went like this and Mick reached over here and he had the same one. It looked like
it does, yeah. If you can get it done, but you always forget because you're always the wrong way on, aren't you? I always get tempted
you're always
to do
trying
that.
to hand it this way and he's trying to get it this way. So it doesn't, you got to figure it out before you get on.
Yeah, we've done that. Well, to be honest with you, when we were younger, he used to wear the bottoms, I used to wear the tops, didn't we, on pyjamas? I was only 8 at the time and he was 16. So,
so you used to walk around bare ass then, and he was all right. He was just topless.
He used to walk around bare ass.
I would.
I better just say hello to everybody who's in chat.
Hello, everybody in chat.
Hello, everybody in chat.
There you go. That's that done.
Yep.
And the members.
If we missed you, let us know.
We ought to just start and say hello to everybody that's not blue, because the other ones are technically a staff, aren't they? So you haven't really got to talk to them.
Right. They don't need to. You don't need to.
So
talk to them.
good evening, vaping Snowman. Good evening, John Paul Glasgow. And that's it, really. Oh, Martin Saunders. Anyway, let's not go down that today. We're busy today. We'll a special
GT
good evening to the members.
Twin Cam.
Oh yeah, GT. Yeah, who was that? It was Legion Loves You last week, and I can't remember what he is. We've got Mr. Intense.
Isn't there?
Yeah, everybody's a moderator, and it stops them all arguing. You know, if you're a cage fighter and you walk into a bar full of cage fighters, you're a lot less likely to have a fight than what you are. You know, if somebody comes up and they're not a cage fighter, you might give them a slap, won't you? See what I mean? Same thing.
It's the way to think of it.
So if you give somebody a spanner and they get a bit happy, and the other one's got a spanner, they can knock them out. That's it. End of tension.
So they can't go back and forth with each other, because like I'll boot you and then they boot the other one and then you get rid of both of them. You're gone. You're good.
That's 2 less blues.
Yeah.
I think we have to put
themselves.
You have to put the blue back on again, I think, if they knock each other out. Good evening, Nicky Maynard. Edgy B, good evening to you. Just Josh, good evening. GT fucking Twin Cam. He's actually from Norway, I think, isn't he? Who apparently have just banned FLAVOURS.
International.
He's all over the place. Just can't stop him.
Belgium, Norway.
Oh yeah, we're all over the place. Us, all over the place.
Yes, had one from Mars here last week. But
Nova.
So we thought we'd get you on. Obviously, we've started this little UK vaping community association, and we just thought obviously Mark's part of it and you're part of it, and Bill's nowhere near it because he doesn't live in the UK and he's not interested in any way, shape or form. Well,
it's not so much that. I'm just figuring I could join the group to make the group one person bigger, but then again, if it goes to sign-in stuff, they're going to be like, wait a second, you're getting people that aren't in the UK, and this doesn't,
that's what we thought, to be honest. That's exactly
basically,
what we
you
thought.
really need people that are there, because if you start puffing the numbers up with people from around the world, they're going to be like, yeah, but half these people aren't even in the UK.
Yeah. It's the same if you, hello, Shrek, nice to see you, mate. It's the same if you copy and paste an email and everybody sends it in, they only look at one of them and forget about the rest. So you have to watch out that you don't do that. So it's no good doing a standard form and then putting your name at the top and bottom. And then firing it.
Well, I think what you're about 400 now.
400, yeah, in a week.
Something like that.
And that's a week.
In a week, yeah. It might be the only 400 that's available, but the reason I started it, I mean, Vic, I'd had a few beers last Sunday night, as I normally do, and Vic sort of did a what's up about it, and I thought, he's actually right. And obviously, if you look in the group, there's quite a few people who say, I don't know what you're doing it for, you're wasting your time, you need to do this, that, and the other. But my original idea, good evening, Mike, nice to see you, mate. My original idea of doing it was to encourage people, because there's only 25,000 people that signed the petition the last survey that they did out of technically 3.5 million people. And I thought, well, we ought to get the numbers up, because at the minute, your biggest problem is if 20,000 of them are Karens and people that can't look after their own kids and people that's never vaped before or smoked and they've no real idea, they just think that their friend at bingo said it was bad for you. We ought to get rid of that. That's your worry, isn't it? You know, my personal opinion is if you don't vape, you shouldn't be allowed to fill it in anyway. Because why would you want to? It's nothing to do with you, is it? If you know what I mean. I mean, people.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with that one, everyone's got an opinion, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where you get that from.
But it's like me having an opinion on jumbo jets. I can't fly a jumbo jet, so why would I have an opinion on it? Yeah. You know, I can tell you what I think
basically
about it.
What it comes down to is that you've got two choices. You could say we're going to do nothing, or you could say we're going to do something.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do something, then at least you feel like you're doing something. And if somebody comes along and says, well, this isn't any good, it's like, well, give me a better idea and I'll do something else. But for right now, this is where we're at. You come up with the better idea, we'll all go along. But you know, it's just a matter of, are you just going to say, well, just nothing, or are you going to actually try to, you know, be proactive? It doesn't, you know, everybody can sit back and say, well, this ain't going to work or whatever else, but at least you're doing something. You know, it's not a nothing.
I think sorry to interrupt. I think if the information is getting out there as well, it's a one-stop place where you can actually find information. Because I mean, myself, I'm looking around and seeing what the news is going off and uploading that as well. So people are being, it's a focus point for people being aware of what is actually going off.
Yeah.
Then obviously the call to actions can come later. Yeah. But as long as people are being informed to knowing exactly what the threat is to their vaping lifestyle, then if they don't know about it, they can't do anything about it, can they? Ignorance is bliss, kind of thing. It's sort of like, so at least this is one group, one actual place where you can find all the information that you need.
And it's a reputable place to get your information. It's not like you're just going out and pulling it from different sources and you don't know whether or not these people know what the hell they're talking about, or whether or not these people are trying to undermine it or whatever else. It's just basically a place you can go to and say, okay, the stuff that's here is, you know,
and nobody's paying anything either. That was me original idea, where it seemed that with the other ones you had to pay into it, and at the end of it, nothing really happened.
They can have jollies to the down to London and sit in Parliament.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah. So that was me.
I think the other biggest thing we need to be looking at as well is being a part of it. And like you said, is if we need to be called to arms, everybody's there already. But we don't want to be in a situation such as the US and Australia where they sort of just left it.
Yeah.
It was sort of just left. And I'm hoping here in the UK that we can get enough people who maybe don't even watch YouTube, but can actually get onto Facebook and have obviously access to that, because a lot of people have Facebook, they don't really necessarily, who vape, go onto YouTube. So again, share this out while you're out there. Another thing I'd just say as well is please don't post anything in there negative about vaping. And also, if you do want to say, look, this is this, just take a screenshot of it. Don't get the actual tag to it, because obviously the more it gets tagged around Facebook, it gets shared about and it starts coming up in people's feeds. If you're ever going to do anything like that, just make sure you take a screenshot of it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's hard to know what to do, because I mean, you can actually make it so you've got to approve each post to stop people putting things. And one or two people have popped in and said, "Oh, this is what vape I'm using today," and you're like, "Well, there's loads of other groups that you're in. You can actually go and tell them what you were vaping today. You know, a cross pod or something like that. You know, just leave this one for doing that." And other people have sort of said, "Oh, well, what we're going to do then?" Well, really, we're not going to do anything other than, like I said, Mark sharing news in there, different ideas, that until anything actually comes up to do, there's nothing really to do. What we really wanted to do was grow in numbers to get to that point.
The problem what we've got at the minute, it's a little bit like when the TPD came in. We don't actually know what's happening. There's been nothing said about when they're going to be banning disposables, or if they're actually going for flavors or whatever else. There's nothing actually been set in stone. So everything that we're saying is sort of
it might be a waste of time.
Submising.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my things was to obviously write to MP.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
I mean, if you start now writing to MP, it just takes not being horrible to him or anything like that. But if you just explain to him that you've got concerns about the future of obviously flavors being probably restricted or anything else that you'd like to start, just put a little email together. It won't hurt, but obviously if you get the numbers of people actually writing to MPs, they are going to take notice because let's face it, there is going to be an election this year.
There is, yeah.
And if you're wanting people's votes, you're going to start listening to people. And this is the perfect time for that because obviously we'll get the election roughly around about October-ish, somewhere around there. So it's a perfect time to start that wheel of you want my vote.
I think we spoke about it on 3 Minute Vape Show and also on UK Vape Show about the is it a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction because obviously Conservatives feel that they're going to lose the election, and it was something they don't know that much about it themselves, and they came out and said, right, we'll do this, what they want is for the disposables, and then we'll have a look at flavors.
Yeah,
I think it's an easy. Let's face it, vaping's always has been, and it's proved it obviously across the pond. Vaping is such an easy target, but it's a really good votes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, they said there's 3.5 million. 3.5 million in this country. Is that enough to do? You know, if you all voted with the fact that you wanted to vape, and one party said, "Oh, we're not going to touch it," and the other one did, I would imagine 3.5 million would be enough to swing it either way, wouldn't it? It's a lot of votes. You know, 3.5 million.
I think again, we've got to just watch out for like what happened with Australia and the US about how things, because that snowballed pretty fast as well in Australia, didn't it?
Yeah, very fast.
Well, I was talking to somebody, and I can't remember who it was because I spoke to that many people this week online, not really face to face. But they were saying, because I was saying, "Oh well, big tobacco really ain't got a voice over this." There's no, but the big pharmaceutical companies have, and that's what they always used to do to us. They used to pass you over to the pharmaceutical companies so you could chew some gum for 6 months, and then you got sick of that, so you went back to the tobacco people, and you were sort of passed about. There was no other option.
To be honest with you, I think it will actually affect the tobacco industry because when you think about it, back in what was it, 2014, maybe a little bit earlier than that, the tobacco industry started buying up juice companies.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they bought a massive big one in Poland, didn't they?
Did
that
they?
actually makes flavors. So it probably will impact the tobacco industry.
Well, the tobacco industry there, though, is already under the assumption that, you know, that your health system is already trying to cut the tobacco out by, you know, this amount of time.
Yeah.
So basically, to a point there, the tobacco industry really trying to go out after vaping isn't going to do them much good because they've got somebody that's saying, you know, we're steering them that way. You're trying to go the other way, and we don't even want that. So it's a little different there than it was here, where all the health organizations were against it as well. So, you know, it.
Yeah,
also we've got things like, well, I mean, obviously you've got them as well. We've got small little corner shops and little supermarkets, things like that. Now, if that supermarket or corner shop wants to sell cigarettes, they've got to sell their vape products as well.
Yeah.
They've got to do it. So like whatever big tobacco owns in the vaping side of it, they've got to sell them alongside with the cigarettes as well. So,
well, see here, what it ended up coming down to is basically when all the smoke cleared and everything else, the only thing that you really lost here was being able to go online pretty much and get stuff very easily. You still got all the shops around. I mean, there's here in the town I live in isn't really that big, and there's probably 15, 20 vape shops there.
So how did they get around it? Obviously, because there were a lot of shops. Obviously, JA's gave his shop up, didn't he?
Yeah.
There were a lot of shops like, right, I've got to get rid of all my stuff now. And
it depends.
Postal service as well, wasn't it?
That's state by state, okay? And so basically, once the smoke totally cleared, you had certain states that just went out and said no, but it's different there where you all just have it under one big blanket. Here, it's not.
Yeah.
So like where I live, you know, the postal service, FedEx and UPS and stuff like that said we're not shipping it. Yeah. And so, but basically shops can still get it because it's coming in bulk, and those companies that are shipping in bulk have no problem with it. They're like, hey, you want a truckload of something? We'll bring you a truckload. The place that was getting like one little package or one little what else said, we're not going to do it. And so the consumer can't get, but as an owner of a vape shop, you can order it and you can have it delivered to you. Yeah.
So I would imagine, in a way, then the actual shops benefited with the fact that people wasn't going online.
Oh, yeah, because they can't go online now. Yeah. Like right now, I bought more stuff at vape shops in the last year than I probably ever had before because I can't go online and get most stuff. Yeah.
What about the flavors sort of side of it? Did any of that?
Nothing's ever come out. But like I said, that's all been state by state. The state I'm in, no, it hasn't. But the other thing is it was such a big splash, and then it's almost like, okay, they're sitting there saying we won, and so we're done, and so most places you don't hear anything about it at all right now. It was the hot button topic for a while, and now everybody is kind of just leveled off, and like I said, depending on where you're at. If you're in the state that said, okay, we're banning flavors and we're doing this and we're doing that, then you're screwed. But
are you still getting your juice with nicotine in it as well?
Yeah, if you go to a shop,
that's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, as far as going to a vape shop right now here where I am, it's absolutely no different than it was 10 years ago.
I suppose, Mick, we had that with the TPD as well, didn't we? When the TPD come and we thought all these things were right, 2 mil tanks and all that, and then when the dust cleared, we were still getting massive steam crave stuff, and they found a workaround of how to do it.
Yeah, some of it you're gonna still do. You just got to be careful because it can. It's to give an inch and they take a mile. You never know how much they're going to take. And, if you wait for the dust to settle and then all of a sudden there's nothing there, now you're screwed.
So it's a good idea.
I've got to admit, I totally agree. I think we've got to wait until obviously next year when the new parliament's been formed.
Yeah.
Everything, and we know where we're going from. I think at the present moment, it's just a knee-jerk reaction, like we were all saying, probably just to get votes.
Yeah,
to seem like we're actually doing something.
Because if you listen online, but it's happened quite a few times before, where the newspapers and the general, news in general, will tell you who's going to win the election, and when it actually comes to, they never do. Or they don't. They did it last time.
Well, you look at Brexit.
Yeah. There's no way we're ever going to exit. So we did. And rightly or wrongly, there's certain things. Sometimes I never actually voted because I was in America. And there's certain, for years you thought, I can't wait to leave these. I can't wait to leave these. And there's sometimes now where you think probably be better if we didn't. And then there's other times you're thinking, I'm pleased that we did, if you know what I mean. So it's 2 and 4, isn't it? Sometimes like. I used to be able to go to Spain. I could stay as long as I wanted. Now you can only go for 90 days. And it's always like your dream. If I won the lottery and moved to Spain, well, you probably wouldn't now because it'd be a bit more hard work. And when you're ever sending anything, you have to fill customs forms out and stuff like that. It's a bit more awkward. But you do tend to listen to politicians, and they'll tell you what they want you to hear. And if you listen to them going on about all the money we were going to save that we never actually did, and how illegal immigrants were going to be stopped before they got a chance to get over here and stuff like that, and they never did. It was, to some points, it was nearly a waste of time. But if you have to stick with what you believe in, don't you? Really, if that's what you believed at the time.
On that, I don't think they explained it as well as they should have done. But I don't think they wanted you to think. Well, maybe they did want you to think, but that wasn't going to happen overnight. You wasn't just going to say, right, we're out of the EU and you're going to save £300 million this week.
Yeah, so
what's going to happen in 20 years' time.
Yeah. Because it's going to take 20 years to leave. To actually sever everything.
Red tape.
Yeah.
You look at what they've just sorted out with Ireland.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And to a lot of points, I mean, our exchange rate with the euro was always awful when we were in there. It was awful, absolutely awful. And now it's not amazing, but it's always a lot better than it ever was.
Yeah.
It would go down, in a week, you'd lose 5 cents to the pound. Well, if you're paying for a villa in cash when you get out there and you spend $2,000, it's a lot of bloody money. It takes some making up. If it was up at, like it used to be, 140, 150, you soon put another 400 quid on something like that. Whereas now, at least it does sort of stabilise. And people also say that a lot of things have gone up over here because of Brexit. But if you speak to Bill in America, a lot of things have gone up there as well, and they were never in Europe.
A lot of things have gone up all over the world. I mean,
it's COVID caused
Yeah.
a lot of mayhem. And then I think COVID caused a lot of mayhem, but then I believe a lot of companies and a lot of people took advantage of that and said, we can raise now because we've got a reason to, and just went out and raised. And so you can blame it on whatever you wanted to, but it was worldwide. Everything's gone up. I mean, it's not like nobody that any country that you talk to throughout the internet. Nobody is saying, well, man, everything's gone down here big time. The prices have gotten lower. That never happens anyhow, but they got a chance to even kick it a little higher with COVID, and they did.
Has your energy prices gone up, Bill, over in the US?
Yeah, because fuel prices have gone up and energy prices have gone up and everything has, because what it comes down to is once, like here, especially, I was driving down the interstate, and when you look up and you see diesel at $4 or $5 a gallon here, which is high from where it was, a few years back.
Yeah.
But when you see that, then you realize that everything here moves in trucks, and all trucks use diesel, and all companies have to haul your stuff to get it from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to charge more because they got to be able to afford the fuel. And once that happens, it's just,
it's a knock-on effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got to go up everywhere and everything, because anything to get moved has got to go up. So there are certain things that will just increase price across the board, whether or not it's vape or whether or not it's food or
That's it,
clothing
food,
or whatever.
It's the food we've noticed when you go to a supermarket and you used to spend 150 quid on your shopping. Now you can come out with 4 bags and it's more than 150 quid in it. It's ridiculous, really. But
right, and they're smaller bags too.
And the smaller bags,
and it's massively smaller now, isn't it? The food,
and you've got to pay for the bag as well.
Well, that's the trick that they try to use is it's like, the ice cream used to be a gallon and it was $5, and now they've raised it to $5.25. But you don't get a gallon anymore; you get 3/4 of a gallon.
I've always done that. Yeah.
So that's a trick that they have used for years. I mean, sugar was always 5-pound bags here. Here 10, 12 years ago, they went to 4-pound bags, and now everybody has 4-pound bags of sugar. That cost more than the old 5 pounds did, but just a little more. So we didn't raise the price much, but you took a pound of sugar.
That's right. Yeah, you have to go twice as many times.
It's a little bit of a vicious circle, isn't it, as well? Because the more that obviously we're paying for energy and all that, and your food and stuff on top of it, then stops you from spending as well. So that means you're not spending in the shops, which then that means you haven't got any shops, and they're not spending any. And it goes around in a great big circle.
Oh, yeah, of course it does.
Right. And then the shop, then what happens is the people that are working there are like, I got to go to work somewhere else because I can't make enough here to be able to live. And so the shop has to pay them more money. Well, once they start paying them more money, they're like, we got to make up this money somehow, so we're going to raise our prices. So it's just that big circle that just keeps going.
Look, he was here, daytime Frank.
And then there's people without any work, and then they can't afford it. It's just I do feel sorry for the people.
Yeah, it's the way the shit works. I mean, it's a cycle that, I mean, that's how inflation works. I mean, technically, if you go back, people will be like, well, back when I was a kid, a loaf of bread only cost $0.25. Yeah, but you were only making $1.20 an hour. So it's
exactly.
Prices were a whole lot better then.
I must be paying about £60 a week for my energy for gas and electric.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are
here. Let's see. I mean, for gas and electric and everything else, I pay right around, I guess, maybe $200 a month. Which is about $50 a week.
Yeah, it's about what we pay.
Yeah.
We usually find out that most things are priced the same as what they are over there, but with the exchange rate, we get it. It costs slightly more, I think. Like you'll pay $100 for something, we pay £100, which is $130. That's the way it works out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mr. Frank.
I haven't seen him forever and a day. Bless him. He'd even lost his spanner. I better put it back on.
Yeah. Since just started shopping at Aldi, saves 25 to 30% on groceries.
That's the only supermarket in the US where you've got to put the money in the cart before you can get it out of the thing, isn't it? Everywhere else, you get your trolley for free.
There's different ways. You have to be on the ball and you have to figure stuff out. I got we shop at Kroger's, which is a large, chain here in the US, but they have a card, and if you use that card, then, you can get discounts here, there, and the other with their little card. But then they also have a credit card. And if you use that credit card, then they give you 3% cash back whenever you use it in their store or whatever. Plus, you get fuel points for getting fuel or whatever else. And so after so many, you get 10 cents off a gallon. You get 20 cents or 30 cents up to whatever. And so I started using it. And then all you do is just use it, pay it off. And so you end up saving, they're giving you 3% cash back. So you're already saving 3% at the grocery. And then you're getting 10 cents off a gallon on your gas. But technically, we're getting, every time we go now, the least we get 35 cents off a gallon. So You're saving money on fuel. You're saving money on this, that, and the other. And then they send you, as a matter of fact, I just got an email from them yesterday on our savings. I think up until yesterday, for the year was a little over $2,000 just by having the card. Yeah. Wow. By using all of the little things that they offer you. If you use them all, it's just the thing about it is a lot of people just don't want to take the time to go out and find this and do that. And they don't want to have to plug this in or do whatever else. It's going to cost you a little more effort and time.
Yeah.
But if you go about things, you can save some money on it. You just got to look for the ways to do it.
Well, we have Tesco, don't we? The club card. And they'll do it where they probably take it back to what it used to be. Something now, what's £2.90, they'll take it back to what it was.
Yeah, it's surprising how much you can save one, especially if you go with your Tesco card. It's surprising.
Yeah.
Well, what we do with it, we've obviously got a Tesco Express there, so we obviously buy quite a lot from there. It's your closest convenience store, and so you get your club card points, and just say you've got £5. Well, they will, if you just say you wanted to go and eat at a Hungry Horse or something like that, they'll triple them points. So that'll be £15 off a meal. So we sort of save it up and we'll go out with the kids to one of the restaurants. And it pays it. Yeah. So if you say we've got 20 quid on there, we get 3 times that and it just pays for all your meals.
Yeah. You get the same. And you have to look for it. You
get the same with fuel.
Know about the stuff. Yeah.
Do they give you the same thing with fuel? So if you put all your fuel in, do you get points on your fuel?
If it's club card, if it's at Tesco's and you can use your club card, then yeah.
Yeah, I got one because a meal deal went up to £5, but you could have it for £3 if you got a club card. And then they also offered I read it wrong. I thought it looked like 15 more cents to the pound if you use their exchange place at the one here. But when I looked at it, it was something like 5. I didn't have my glasses on again. But it's still 5 cents in the pound, and if you're changing a couple of grand again to go to Spain, it makes a difference, doesn't it, on your exchange? You might get a meal out for nothing when you get to Spain just by using their club card. That's why I did it.
You're better downloading the app on your phone, link your club card, and it tells you where you can use. It's not just on food; it's like trips, train travel, days out, whatever else. There's loads of places you can use it.
I actually got their credit.
You have to look for this stuff. You have to be. You have to go out and find out about this shit when stuff happens or whatever else. And like I said, it's a way around some of it. It's not going to get you back to where you were, but you're doing as much as you can, and it cuts off a little here, there, and the other, and it helps. Yeah.
Well, I went in one day.
I've got a question for you, out of curiosity. In the UK at the present moment, we're getting more people using cards, credit cards, debit cards.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of uproar at the present moment that cash is kind of being phased out here in the UK? What's it like in the States?
I mean, cards are used more than anything here, but you will see a lot of places that will give you two prices, like especially fuel, gas stations and stuff. They'll give you two prices. It'll be like if you're going for fuel, that's just an example. It's $2 with card, $1.90 with cash.
Oh,
so
right.
if you pay cash, they'll give you, because what happens when you use the card, they have to pay that card company a fee for you to use their card. So a lot of places here now are starting to come up with two prices, cash and card. So they're actually, we were more card. They're trying to get it back to more cash almost now because the card's just adding extra charge to everything. That's all it's doing. Yeah.
Well, that's what they said. How do you turbocharge a pound or a dollar? You put it on a card. So you spend that dollar, he spends that dollar, they spend that dollar, they spend that dollar, and each time it's took 1% off it. It's the only way the bank's going to make any money. And it's still, at the end of it all, the last person that's got it has probably got, £1.90, and the bank's made 10 pence out of that one single pound. Nobody's ever even seen it. Whereas if I give you a pound, and you pass it on.
Also, there's the Big Brother thing in there where they can track basically what you're spending your money on.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the card at the store. When you're going in, you're going to have your card. When you go to the register to check out, you got to scan that so that they know you got your store card. And then if you use their credit card, then obviously they know that also. So they know they can target what you're buying and whatever else. But the good part there is whenever they send me coupons for like best customer coupons, they only send me shit that I buy. They don't send me coupons for diapers or for, baby food or something, because I don't ever buy that shit. I don't have a baby, so to a certain degree, everybody's like, oh yeah, but Big Brother's watching. Well, I hate to tell you this, but Big Brother's been watching you for years, and they know where you're at, and they've been tracking you for all this damn time. So the best thing to do is try to get something good out of what Big Brother's doing watching you, and you just have to figure out what those are. Yeah.
I don't know about you, Mick, though. If I go out for a meal, I'll still take cash with me because I'm always scared. You've had your meal and whatever else, and you go and try and put your card in, and then there's something wrong with your card, or their card reader don't read it, and you've just done £100 on a meal, and you can't pay for it. I still take money with me.
Yeah, but I'm good at washing pots.
Well, we know that.
Well, you just take 5 cards. One of them will go through. That's what I've seen guys have. Try this one. Well, try this one.
I can remember when I used to live like that. There's 20 quid left on this one, 20 quid left on this one.
The thing was, there's just certain readers that won't read. I used to go to, there's a golf course down here I used to go to, and I could walk in with my bank card, and I know the money was in there and everything else, and he could swipe that card, and it would not take it. And I could pull one of my other cards out of my wallet and say, here, try this, and swipe it, and it'd take it in a heartbeat.
But poor old Fern went up to the Heron, the local Heron up there to go and get some washing up liquid, and she come back, she says that was the most embarrassing thing. The card won't work. I'm like, well, there's plenty of money on it. I don't know why it won't work. I said, did you try it again? She went, no. So when we went up there, we tried it and it wouldn't work. I went, try it again. So we did it again and it worked. There was nothing. It was just, they just didn't work that time. She said, I was so embarrassed to a queue and all that. I'm not going again.
The other thing as well, what you've got to realise, because obviously our tech card in the cab, I've got the little sum up machines, and what you've got to watch out for is sometimes they'll go like that and it won't go, and then it'll say declined. What you've got to do is put it in again and shove it in. It's sometimes they've overused it with the beeping, and it wants them to confirm it's them. That's all it is.
Well, my business card for the business account, if I use it 6 times, I have to then put it in.
Yeah. Right.
So like with Expo, every couple of times I then put it in.
There's one or two people.
Frank said he got a discount on breakfast, and because he paid cash.
Perfect.
Not much, but you still get it. And it's the same thing. And the other thing that I do is which you all necessarily can't do, but I mean, if some place is a senior citizen discount, I'll go take advantage of that shit too. Because I can get 10% off here, 15% off there, just because I lived this long. It's not like I'm like, hey, if you want to give it to me, I'll take it. But I really didn't do anything other than just stay alive. But
Simon does that, doesn't he? He goes out for fish and chips at the garden centre and he gets the OAP special.
I get it on my trash pickup. when they come to pick up the trash, I pay like $5 less a month than somebody that's under 65 because I get a discount on it. I get a discount on that. I try to take advantage of all of those as well. You have to keep your eyes open, and you have to know where you can save a little and where you can use things and whatever else. And,
Well, we're pretty lucky because Louise is a student nurse. She gets a blue light card. So, places like Brewers Fair or, again, like that Hungry Horse and places like that, you get 25% off of your food.
Yeah. Our Lou still does because she was assistant manager at the surgery, doctor's surgery. So they get it as well, which is just a good thing.
I think it was Green King this last month. I think they were doing 35% off. That's a hell of a lot of money off of food.
Yeah. And then if you're buying in bulk or you're buying in whatever else, it's like going to the stores like Costco or somewhere like that. Basically, you're going to get, if you're going in there to buy trash bags, you're going to get 200 of them. But, now you don't have to buy trash bags forever. And the thing is if you broke that down into 10, 20 bag boxes, then it would have cost you probably twice as much.
Yeah, there's no wrong with doing that if you've got the space. Why not? I mean, when the dreaded pandemic came and everybody was saying, "Oh, don't order all the toilet roll," we already had done. Because it's always been something. We already had most of it anyway.
My wife had, before it happened, she had gone to, I think it was Sam's Club, and they had stacks of this shit in the corner. This would have been in January, so that it hadn't even, the shit hadn't started yet until like March.
Literally.
And she had gone and bought, we had almost the whole room over here. They came back in a minivan with the seat folded down in the back. Between her and the daughter, it was piled with toilet paper front to back. But this was before all the shit happened. So when that happened, I didn't have any problems whatsoever. I had like a 3-year supply over here.
It's a good job they're doing it front to back, because you don't want to do it back to front. It was just annoying. Obviously, you could only go out a couple of times a day, and you'd go into the store with this stupid mask on, which used to do me head in. It used to make me feel right anxious, because you get really hot, wouldn't you? And you'd be looking to go and get toilet paper. They want anything.
No.
Yeah. Well, when after first lockdown here, obviously I was working at Vape shop, and it was my job to post all the vape mail. And I tell you one thing, it was the weirdest thing going into a post office with a mask on.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Going into a bank here, same way, because they think you're
you know what I mean? It felt so unnatural. It's so like, are they going to get me? People that wear masks going into a post office, nobody has a shotgun.
Yeah, they don't have a sawn off checkbook, do they?
Yeah. But the thing with me with the mask, the thing I hated it worse with glasses, but because when you put it on, these fogged. It just.
Oh yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
Well, they said
the amount of people who stood behind in the queue, they were saying about that, going up on your glasses, going, do you know what you want to do? What you want to do is you want to get some washing up liquid, get a little bit of that, put it on the inside, and you don't fog up, love.
Yeah.
All these people who've got all wet sunglasses, glasses with all loads of suds all over the top.
Yeah.
Well, they said to us, driving a cab, they sent us a letter out saying, well, technically you don't have to wear one because obviously you're driving and it could push up and you could have an accident. But the first time I thought, well, I'll wear one and just keep up with everybody else. And then when they were hinting it the second time that there might be another shutdown and you had to wear a mask, I thought, well, I ain't wearing it this time. I've already had COVID. I've had every jab they've asked me to. I'm fed up of you now. And this old boy got in with me. He says, where's your mask? I said, well, I chose not to wear one, mate. He said, well, he started effing and jeffing at me. I will never use you again. I said, well, that's up to you. But I said, it's up to me whether I wear one or not. And that's my opinion. I don't want to wear one. He said, well, what happens if I get COVID? I said, well, you've already got one on.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what I mean? I said, there was no proof ever that they worked anyway, but you had to join in with it, didn't you? Because that was nobody knew. And to be honest, I took everything on. I took all the jabs, everything, because I just wanted to go to Spain. That was it. You know what I mean? I thought, well, one day they're going to say, oh, you can't ever come again. So I just did it for that. But
what made me chuckle, though, was people were grassing other people up for it.
Yeah. Yeah. My neighbour here, she's disabled and her daughter comes round to sort her out. She has done for 3-4 years. Comes down every day, makes sure she's all right because her dad's at work. Makes her a cup of tea, sits with her, has a bit of a chat and that. And somebody, bearing in mind I live on a council estate, somebody grassed them up and the police came.
You're joking?
No, I'm not. On a council estate. I mean, that's always been one thing here. You used to go in the local pub up here, and there'd be a poacher. Everybody's working on the side. He's doing this, he's doing that. You know what I mean? And everybody, that was it. It was like the bar on Star Wars, really. But they're all good people. But everybody everything was a bit iffy. You know, one was driving when he didn't have a license. You know, and nobody ever grassed on anybody. And then somebody actually grassed them up, and they came, and the copper come around and said, "Your daughter's at your house." He said, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, she's not supposed to be." He says, "Well, she is, because I'm disabled and she's my carer."
If she's in my bubble.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, I'm really sorry," and off it went. And she was, I mean, we were all fuming. It's like, because I just put, it was on Facebook, she put, "To the person that's actually done that, I can't believe you've done it. Because one thing, she's my carer, and, you know, where we live, you don't do that. Like, you know, if somebody falls over, you pick them up, but you don't grass at them. It's ridiculous."
Well, somebody did when I was working at TVS. Retford shop got grassed on.
Really?
Yeah. We had police that came, and we also had trading standards come.
What was that for?
For us serving. Because what we were doing was serving at the actual door. But somebody grassed us up saying that we were serving like a normal shop.
God.
They did that to Chris Bell, you know, Empire Vape Co. So what he was doing, he had like the front door, and he put like a little bit of a counter thing there.
Yeah.
So when people coming up, they'd have to order online to him or phone up for it, and then he'd just give him the bag, and then that were it.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing, yeah. But they didn't do it here, did he? They posted them if they came here.
Did you kit all your taxi out as well then, Mick? Yeah, did you have all the...
No, I never put in. Because I'm 6'3", and it won't, if you've got a plastic thing behind me, they won't be able to get anybody in. I had a Skoda at the time. It was a job to get anybody behind me anyway. Never mind, you know, putting a plastic thing in.
When you guys are talking about grassers, I thought you were talking about people who smoke pot.
Snitch.
No.
Snitch. Snitches get stitches, Bill.
You're talking about narcs.
Narcs.
Narcs, yeah. Just use the word narc. Everybody knows that, to be honest.
Nicky Maynard, I'm exactly where you are, mate. Fucking hate grasses.
I think there were a lot of people who turned into alcoholics and smoked a lot of green in that lockdown period.
Well, that was the only thing I thought about it, to be honest. But it was a surprise to people when they'd spent, 8, 12 months, 14 months sitting in the garden drinking wine all day, when actually the government actually wanted some money back. It's like, well, you can't have any money back. You know what I mean? Well, we've just kept you for the last year. What do you expect us to do? We've got to get it from somewhere. I mean, that Eat Out to Help Out, my youngest granddaughter, who's 6 months old, she'll still be paying for that in her tax, won't she? Yeah, I mean, it's never, ever going to get paid for. And
we did talk about it when we were sat in garden. So, and did you notice as well? You know, like all these weather conspiracies people. Did you notice as soon as it hit, like March time, it was sunny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was just sunny all the time.
It was a gorgeous blooming summer, wasn't it?
Can you imagine the year after?
Absolutely boiling.
The year after, it was rubbish weather, wasn't it? So can you imagine that? The murder rate had gone up, wouldn't it?
Connor's wanting to know whether or not 72 Nick comes with syringes, or whether or not he needs to get some.
You'd have to get some, mate. It just comes in a bottle.
Yeah, it don't come with a bottle.
To be honest, what I normally do is I normally put the thing, those pourers on it, and like this.
You can just go to your local heroin dealer. They've usually got a few syringes laying around.
I use that, to be honest. I've got a litre bottle, and I just tip it into there, and then I use that.
When I used to use it, you could go to the chemist, and then you got the little top that you put in, and then hold it tight on it, and you then add the syringe.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I've just got a normal bottle. Mine's just like a normal Gorilla bottle. I've got a syringe just like that.
Yeah, that's Bill's. That's what he uses for his.
I just take it. I take
stuff.
this bottle, I stick this in, and I get it out, and then whenever I'm making it, I just squirt it in, and then that way I usually try to pull this up to how much I want, and then I'm also weighing it, so it's just like a double check on it.
Thing is, with Connor, he's the king of random questions. What he normally does is, you could be talking about absolutely anything at all, and he will ask you about something completely different.
Every now and then the subject needs to go in a different direction, but not always.
His favourite one is you'll be chatting away about something, he'll go, "What's the best cotton to use?"
Yeah.
Well, he comes in our Zoom room with us. You know, we know him. Well, I met him in real life as well. He's actually a friend of ours, but we don't half give him some stick. I gave him a spanner tonight because everybody kept timing him out, so they're all leaving him alone. Look.
Oh.
I was hoping Vic was going to come in because I don't know if he's got one.
Just going back onto the looking at flavors and stuff like that, it doesn't half make me laugh. I don't know. I've probably met thousands and thousands of vapors over the years of reviewing them, going to shows and stuff like that. And I'm very, very rare that it was a person quit on tobacco flavored juice.
That's
There
right.
were a few, but probably 98% of them was all on a different flavor, you know, like a peach or something like that.
Yeah.
So
most of them older, if they did, from what I've seen, it's like the older people, because they get in their head, tobacco, I need tobacco, and they do. But I'm by older, I'm talking about 60 and up.
Yeah,
I know a couple of those, but most everybody else I know, no, they, it had nothing to do with tobacco. It's just nicotine and trying to get off of what you're on. But yeah, what you're saying there is hardly anybody quits on that. They find something they like, they go with it, and they go on. Most of the older people.
The way I sort of thought of it was like somebody who's an alcoholic trying to come off the beer, and then the medicine tastes of like Carlin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's going to make them want to go back on to what they were trying to come off of. So there is a place for obviously the flavors, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and tobacco doesn't taste like cigarettes. That's the big misnomer. Is tobacco tastes nothing like like smoking a cigarette. It's it's like you were just saying there. It's like saying somebody had beer, and it's like, okay, well, here's a handful of barley or hops. Eat this. It's not going to taste like beer. And that's the same concept between smoking and tobacco.
Even within ETs, they taste more like tobacco, but they still don't taste, because a cigarette is a smoking experience. It tastes it's burning tobacco.
You don't eat the tobacco. I guess if you chewed tobacco, you could possibly say, well, hey, this tobacco flavor is really good. But if you smoked, it's not going to take the place.
Well, me and Mark were the same, weren't we, bro? We didn't really like tobacco flavored vapes or anything until the pod systems, the pre-filled pod systems sort of come out. And we tried a few and we thought, they're not too bad. But by that time, obviously, we'd already quit smoking and we was well on the vaping journey.
But I mean, you've got to remember, I mean, when we first started vaping, it was so like Hang Sang version of tobacco. You had your RY4s and things like that. And they never tasted anything remotely. It was more nutty caramelly type flavors.
I remember doing a review on it. Was called T9 Juice, and their tobacco tasted like, when you'd got ashtrays and the water's gone in it. That's how it tastes. In fact, I did the review and I never even used the juice. I went, it's just not my cup of tea, because it literally made me want to be sick.
There's still, I don't know if it's still at TVS, but they did one, and I think it was supposed to be Marlboro, and it just stunk. It was awful, and I tried it again because I got the urge for trying tobacco juices, and I went down. I think Benny was there then. It might have been when the other lad was still there, and I said, I'm going to get some tobacco. So I said, I'll have a selection of your 10 mils, and sure enough, it still tasted just as crap, and I've been stopped 5 years.
But most tobaccos that you get on the market, it's very rarely is it just tobacco. It's usually an RY4.
A lot of times
where you're getting that caramel or that whatever else.
That's nice. That Aramaxi tobacco, that's pretty full on. It's
I've got that full range here still.
Have you tried the tobacco?
No. They give me the box up at Expo. I've got the full, the big army box. And I still haven't done it yet.
No, you'll either love that or you hate it. When I first started it, to be honest, I was a bit like, I don't know, I'm not sure about this. And then I found myself chugging on it the next day, and I thought, no, it's not so bad. And then I really got into it, and so I actually put it in that
Pure Max.
Pure Max, that's it. Me and my memories, awful. I like that.
I look at mods back here behind me now, and I don't know what half the names of my mods are anymore. I was like, what the hell? I'm looking at the bottom, and then I'm trying to find a picture that looks like it online, so I know what the hell it is.
We haven't mentioned our sponsors.
that was an interesting story about the fluid as well, that they did have a tobacco one. It ended up smelling like curry.
Yeah, did you? Yeah, apparently somebody walked back in the office. They walked back in the office the next day and they went, "Oh no, we can't sell that."
Yeah, it stunk of curry. Was it a tobacco and caramel or something?
Yeah, it's the one it's the old boy what they released.
Yeah,
but it's not. They had to change the thing slightly to stop that happening. But you do find that with tobacco. With this Aramaxi, when you walk back in the room the next day, you can definitely tell you've been smoking. There's a bit of an horse piss smell, if you like, something like that. Just a faint whiff.
Yeah, badger piss.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, if I come in here, I usually have my door closed here, and I vape in here most of the time, and then I come back in the next day. If I've been vaping, usually it's custard or whatever else. When I come in here, it's like, or if the daughter comes over from next door, comes back, it's like I need to get whatever else. She's like, man, it smells nice in here. It's because it's always smelling of vanilla or custard or something in here. Yeah.
I've just done the review for this one, and all this is that Legio X Britannia custard. That's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. I shouldn't tell you that because now there's no point watching the review. And this is the other one I tried of theirs. The rosiest custard. That is absolutely banging. And what I tend to do, I don't read the descriptions on them or anything. And it was after I'd done the review, I was trying to work out what that rhubarb tastes like. And after somebody said straight away that stewed rhubarb, and I thought, God, that's it. That's exactly what it is. It tastes just like stewed rhubarb with a real dark custard. It's bloody beautiful.
Well, last Wednesday I got I called her Amy, and her actual name is Liz, isn't it?
Yeah,
she's lovely.
Yeah,
she's really nice.
She's here somewhere, aren't you, Amy? I mean, Liz.
Yeah. I don't know why I called her Amy. We're on Flat Cap show with her, and then I met her at Expo. Absolutely lovely.
I've not met her. I don't think I met her.
Yeah, she's really, really nice.
She
likes chins.
Is she? It's a bit worrying. I'm umming and ahhing whether
chins.
It's chins. Yeah, you said that on the show as well. Not shins, chins.
Who said chins?
You were talking about people walking into your room after you've been vaping. Me and Mark mentioned this the last few expos. He hasn't got that expo smell, has he? Anymore. Now everybody's vaping disposables. You used to walk in and you'd smell these custards and cherries and all that sort of stuff. And you used to look at each other, didn't we, Mark, and go,
you used to look up and there was this massive big haze all the way down.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah, I went in 2016. I'd only just started vaping that year, and we popped it on the way back from a concert. And to be honest, it was a little bit acrid. After a while, it was that full of vape, and even I had to go stand outside. But there isn't any of that now, is there? Till you get in that home zone, there's not, then you get sat next to Graham and all you can smell is weed. And other than that, it's fine.
I wonder what the hell were happening there. It's a cat, isn't it?
Yes, but yeah.
She knows it's almost over. She's like Jim. She's got this timed.
I've been getting that's why I've been doing this for a while. I get similar attention off that one of mine because it's always the same. Like if you look at him just before you go live, he's fast asleep, never going to wake up again. And usually by about 20 minutes after you've gone live, he's like, I think I'll go rub around his feet for a bit and then give him a bit of a nod. And that's why I end up doing this.
Used to do that when we used to do it live show. He knew when we were finishing.
Zach's he's just an annoying. He knows he's one of these that stands in front of you when he knows where you want to go. And then when we go to bed, he's obviously his bed's at the bottom of our bed. He'll come and have a bit of a love, and then he'll jump down and go to sleep. But if I come in a little bit later on, I'll get snuggled in. I've probably got something to eat, watching television, Lou snoring. He'll go and stand at door. And what he does is he doesn't like bark or anything. He makes these really unimpressed sounds, like going.
Yeah.
And he's just at the door. I'm like, I've just come up. Why didn't you say that you wanted to go out when I were up? Like, go to the door.
My brother-in-law used to have a parrot, and it was the same. They used to cover it up before they went to bed to stop it squawking. And as soon as you walk near it to put the cover on, it used to go.
Yeah, that's what they used to do, didn't they? Cover them up so they used to go to sleep.
Yeah, so they go to sleep. Yeah, I don't know what else.
It's like drawing the curtains, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it makes them roost, doesn't it? I mean, whatever time you come home here, because it's all lit up on the industrial estate, you can still hear the birds tweeting because they think it's morning. So as soon as they fly anywhere near it, and you can always hear them middle of the night. early morning, anytime, because they actually think it's...
Ironically, you should say that. Where I live, literally, there's a wood opposite where I am. And on the main road here, they installed new streetlights.
Oh, yeah.
And they are bright. When I say they're bright, they are really, really bright. And for, absolute months and months, all we kept on hearing was the birds singing at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
All night long, they would be carrying because of these lights.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, it tricks them.
Can you imagine the conversation when they're up the tree as well? Do you know what? I'm not being funny, but we've been walking along for absolutely loads of hours. Surely it's going to get a bit darker. And then one of them will click on the street lights. We've got to move. We've got to move. Go back a bit.
Get into the middle of the wood. It's darker in there.
It's darker in there. The owl's going, cuckoo, not here.
Get away. I'd like to give a mention to our sponsor, CC Coils, if you want to nip over and use Bill 10, but you'll have to find him on Facebook.
Lovely bloke, CC.
He hasn't got a website yet. Hopefully we'll do at some point. We'll be able to. Well, we still can't point you over there, can we? And obviously you can still get 20% off at Dispergo by using Bill 20 for 20% off. The Laid Back Vape Show had borrowed our art earlier on before they came on. The one for the advocacy thing. They actually had it displayed before they went live. Earlier on.
They're lovely lads as well.
Yeah, they are. That's a good thing. Everybody gets on.
Well, that Ian guy, he's kind of a...
Ian in his shed. He's a smashing fella.
Yeah,
it's just nice. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the thing. It was massively expensive when I looked the other week, but then when I looked yesterday, it's not as bad. But the only trouble is there's only double beds left. There's no single beds, so I won't be able to bring Vinny because I won't want to wake up next to him. He's not a bad lad, but him farting in the middle of the night won't be quite so good. So he's actually off sick at the minute. He's hurt his leg, hasn't he?
What you want to do?
He's having an operation, isn't he?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's having an operation on his leg.
He's had an operation.
Yeah. He's either had it or he's going to have it.
Right. Well, he was all wrapped up. It was his leg was all wrapped up. So
yeah, obviously he's had it.
He don't post a lot on Facebook, and obviously we've not been in the. It's very rare I go to the vape shop now because obviously I've got everything there. I don't really buy out now, really. I get the odd bit off. You better be there, Mick. Well, I looked last night. A couple of nights is just over 200 quid, which is that 40 quid more than it was last time, so it's not too bad.
What you should do is get a camper van and just pay for the parking.
Yeah, could do that. It's a bit more Mick spooning with Hanky Panky. I don't know.
I love Hanky, but I won't want to share with him. You wouldn't know what he'd do to you halfway through night.
Can you imagine? Because he doesn't sleep, does he? He doesn't ever sleep. He's just full on all the time. It must be difficult after a couple of days. You'd be like, can you shut up?
Oh, it's very. You've got to crash it sometime, surely.
Yeah. You've had 75 beers in the morning, at night, like, and you wake up the next morning and there's Hanky going on and on and on and on, and like, I don't know.
Thanks, Foxy.
Yeah, put the.
Vinny's had his operation, but he's had some complications, so he's off for another 6 more weeks.
Oh, bless him.
I'll give him a message tomorrow.
There's a hotel near me called the Novotel that's only 50. Thing is, though, I want to be in the Premier Inn because that's where they all are. It's where all the drinking and laughing goes on. So that's
all the cool people.
Yeah, all the cool kids hang out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the May's always better than the October because obviously it's starting to get a trudgy bit warmer, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I might bring my coat this time though.
Well, do you know we've had plenty of Mays, haven't we, Mark? Where it's been proper sunny.
Yeah, proper red hot.
Yeah,
can you remember that year that Jan and Lou, they were sat outside, sunbathing, weren't they?
Yeah.
The year before, it was lovely, wasn't it?
But last year we were freezing, wasn't it?
Last May it was cold.
Yeah, it was cold.
Benny says I'll lend you my jacket, so I'll put it on.
Can you remember that year that you and me stayed up until about 5 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning?
Yeah, that was a Friday, that.
Yeah. Lost a whole day for that.
Yeah.
You did, I got there.
It's hard, isn't it? I woke up the first time I got there on the Friday night at tea time and got stuck in, and we went to bed about 4, and I woke up at 8, and I thought, well, you can't stay in bed all day. You've got to get going. I wasn't very good at all. Christ, I wasn't very good. And when I went back, I thought, I'm going to have a quick kip. And I thought, if I have a quick kip, I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to stick it out. By the time I'd had a few more beers, I was all right.
Hair of the dog there.
Well, it's the continuous hair, isn't it?
Continuous hair, yes.
That's what it
Not
is.
just the hair, it's the whole dog.
It's the whole dog. It's like down there pulling the tail out of your mouth. It's
Yeah.
oh, I've walked around that expo in some right states.
Oh, yeah. I was grim the next day.
Do you know, I'm really glad that Graham sort of come on the scene because you sort of gauge yourself in the morning when he walks out. It's like, do I look as bad as Graham today? I'm all right, if not.
Yeah, I'm going to be safe to drive in 2 weeks.
What's going on?
Addy Chimney, you always know you've achieved in life if Addy turns up.
No, it is. It's a good little giggle there.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm really looking forward to it. Do you think it's going to be much different this time round? What with the obviously the ban inevitably going to happen?
I don't know. I mean, like, let's face it. Really, apart from the home zone, most of it's disposables, isn't it? So I suppose at some point you're going to miss all those. You're going to miss all those companies if they were just pure and simply disposable manufacturers. You're going to miss them. But are they going to then think, well, we can't sell them anymore, we better go make something else? And are they going to then go back into
we were talking about on the UK Vape Show. I think there'll be more of a workaround than a complete and utter ban. So they're going to get rid of the disposable. Obviously, we've seen that with that Haiti where it's an enclosed pod system where the battery can actually recharge and you just buy the pod, which then connects to it. There's a few other ones.
Do you remember these Relks from a few years ago?
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, I paid about £1 each for them. I don't think I ever vaped them all, but they're nearly a disposable, but you dispose of that, don't you?
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to be banning them. They're just going to be banning the disposable that we know of.
It's the same as this, mate.
Same thing, yeah.
The X-Rods.
But this one, you have to buy the pod separate, and they're already full. You have to use their.
Well,
their
this one,
liquid.
the pod's not full, but other than you're still buying the pod.
So it's the same thing.
Once it's done, that whole unit's gone, and you're getting another one. So
I mean,
do you know what?
I think it'll be pre-filled pods. They'll carry on with that.
And do you know what? I think they'll make it that cheap that what they'll be able to do is still throw it all away. So they'll get these where you can recharge them, 2 mil, and then once they're done, throw it.
But that's the time when the thing about it is at the expo is when there should be something set up at the expo for this whole thing, because that's the time when you're getting a lot of people that you don't see online, you don't see on YouTube, you don't see on whatever else. And you can actually say, hey, here's a Facebook page, here's join this or do whatever.
I was quite surprised the last quite a number of years at Expo, NNA's not been there.
Yeah, that was surprising.
UK vision, isn't it?
I mean, that's where, there's a lot of people that you're going to reach that, we're in a small bubble here. I mean, it's just, there's just not that many people in comparison to how many people there actually are vapors as far as online, YouTube or Facebook or wherever else. There's just not as many there,
That might be a thing that it would have to take it in turns being on a stand. Like, you don't cost very much to get a banner made up.
Then you want 3.5 grand for a stand, don't you?
But you'd look at getting it for free. You'd have to have a word with Phil.
Either that or you could just tie in with somebody who's already there, who's got a stand, and you just set up on the corner of theirs. You don't have to necessarily have your own. Yeah.
He's got a really fancy bar that he's making up. Paul and Nick, I think they'd be all right from the Fluid.
I think they've got the
next to Jane, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially if you could get into the home zone as well.
Well, that would be the idea, wouldn't it? That's where you want to be.
Even if it's just a little table, like how the Coil lads were. It's not really a booth; it's just a table, isn't it?
Just get a little cardboard box and a bucket, 5-gallon bucket, turn it upside down, set on it, put a little box in front of you. So fine.
Get him
start singing.
Start doing them dice.
Yeah, maybe put an open guitar case there and see if you can get people to throw some change in or something.
Like doing a dance and stuff.
Do what they do in Benidorm and get 3 cardboard boxes stuck together and then play that dice game over the top. And if you win, you can. If you win, you can carry on vaping FLAVOURS.
As long as it's next to the bar, I'll be there all day. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I do like that bar. I do think, although those big beers are a bit expensive, I do think they're a cracking idea because it saves you walking across there so often, doesn't it? The only, the big 2 pinters or whatever they are, they're massive ones. But the only
trouble is though, is you like that around it, and then half your face disappears into glass.
The only thing with them bar lasses there, that they never seem to be that interested in. And if you're going to pull a beer out of any sort of tap, it's a good job it's not bloody real ale, but if you're pulling a beer out of any sort of tap, unless you've got any interest in it, it's never going to look right, is it? It's always just going to come out like water. They don't even do it. They just go, and they're talking to the mate like, oh, it's nearly full. And that's all they're interested in it. Have a word with Jane Shytots. She's here, aren't you, Jane? Somewhere. She maybe into that. She maybe didn't bother.
I think the pints there as well. I think theirs is on the card only.
Yeah,
changed it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, well, you can see why that is, isn't it? Because they're all temporary staff, and nobody ever makes a mistake, do they? With they don't drop anything or pinch anything if you're paying on card.
You do, Matt. You're totally right. You do end up drinking them big ones faster.
I don't drink a lot in the daytime. I get plenty down me at night, but I fancy one of them posh rooms with a fridge. Don't you drink at all?
I don't drink a lot, do I?
No, not at all.
Unless it's champagne.
Over there, yeah.
Champagne.
It's the bubbles. Fucking laughing like a fucking pigeon.
Pigeons laugh? I thought they could.
Yeah, this one did.
No.
Fucking like that, head like that, laughing.
That's a chicken.
Cicero!
I can put you through to Grace, our handler. That sounds a bit science fiction, doesn't it? Cicero, good evening. Anybody else? Boo!
Well, yeah,
booyah!
He's going to be. Obviously, you got to think them stands have took over from the sort of like your Aspires and the Geek Vapes when they used to have big stands to be on that red carpet. The disposable people have put thousands. They're spending the money.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting. I think October's going to be the real big interesting one.
Well, we're going to know more by then, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we might be doing it in the car park of the Premier Inn. About two like Pug's there with his, and then Jane, and then
you get your money from your pocket.
It'll be in a circle like that, and then we'll just do that for a couple of hours, and then we'll go and get really drunk. Expo handler, sorry. There you go, CC Coils. We could give him the job. He's the sponsor of the Late Night Vape Show, so we could give him the job of collecting signatures. We just need to make him
obviously he's there as well. We could obviously get some leaflets printed up. That's you can do that at home.
The only thing is with it, what we did say was we didn't really want anybody to pay anything. And then it comes, the first person in that Facebook group says, we could get some posters printed. But by the time you actually do professional posters, you're going to be getting stuck into some serious money, aren't you? And then you're not free then.
I wasn't on about glossy stuff, but I'm quite happy to buy a bit of ink myself and print them off here at home.
Yeah.
You're gonna spend 20 quid. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, that's it exactly.
I'm not bothered about putting my hand in my pocket for 20 quid just to put a few leaflets on the side with the Facebook page and just spread them all around.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. You can go to Vistaprint.
Yeah.
And you get 250 business cards for what? About 17 quid.
I think it's less than that. I think it's that half of that. To be honest,
if you got a basic package.
Yeah. Yeah, you just put a bit of artwork on one side. You could turn that into the little slogan and then the information about where you want to be.
And then the other thing, a few more than 250, though, won't we?
Yeah, but I mean, for argument's sake, you bought a couple of packs of them. I mean,
the 500.
You buy, the cheaper it comes.
Yeah, that's 500.
Yeah, you know what I mean. 500 for 15 quid, wouldn't you? That's what you'd be getting.
I mean, depending on how it's presented and how it's done and what you really want to do with it, if you can keep it down to a level that doesn't cost a whole lot or whatever, you need to be going to the places that are going to be affected by this. So your juice companies and stuff like that, and say, hey, can you, at minor amounts, 20 pounds or whatever else, we're trying to print up some whatever else to get ahead of this thing. They're the ones going to be affected. It seems to me like a good business proposition for them to say, hey, if you're doing the legwork, here's 20 pounds, go print them up. We'd like to see them or something. But other than that,
there we go.
Should be some people that were throwing a little in. Some of the
we've got an offer. We've already got an offer. Mick, drop me a message. We get a lot of stuff printed and happy to have stuff on our stand at Expo. There you go. Perfect. Yep. In the home zone, get a vape company, already got a stand. Ta-da.
That took 15 minutes.
It did, yeah. Look at that for a meeting. We're also
now you can go to sleep and sleep well tonight.
In May. Yeah, we're also Darren Bunny's Darren is also obviously a very knowledgeable man about the vaping industry and how things work, and he's also wanting to get involved as well, and also Darren. Flat Cap as well. Flat Cap's interested in doing something as well. Vic's no interest whatsoever because he said he's not tall enough to reach anybody, so there's no point in having to go. We should have invited him on the number one room show. Well, we could put him on a chair.
You could put him on a stand.
Yeah.
But not behind it.
That's right, yeah. Well, we could just stand him on a chair. See there, Vic, stand there. Hello, Bearded Vape God. Nice to see you. Anyway, it's time we cleared off because Bill has to get to bed. And it's been lovely having you on.
Get to bed. Mark has to get to bed. I got to eat.
Yeah. Feel free to come back at any time.
Well past my bedtime.
If you get
past my eat time.
Just think, Mark, you'll get an extra 4 hours. That's all you get.
Yeah.
What time do you have to get up, Mark?
I roughly get up about 4:45.
Oh, do you? Yeah, I usually go to bed about 4:30, to be honest. I think it was 4:30 this morning when I went to bed.
Quarter after 5 where I'm at right now. But you're talking about morning. I'm talking about evening. So it's
Lou's got herself to Australia anyway. I'll just tell you that before we go. She flew yesterday. She actually landed in Australia this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Brilliant.
And she's in Perth, so that was, I think it was at either 9 or 10 p.m. their time. So they'll be fast asleep in bed now, or probably just ready for getting up. I think I can't remember what it was now without looking at my phone.
How long have they gone for?
2 weeks.
Oh, lovely.
She's gone to stay at a friend's house who moved over from here. She used to go to school with her. And she's gone over there. They've gone over for 2 weeks. But the only trouble was, it's 17 hours. It's a long way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a long time that on a flight.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But they looked after her really well. They put her in a chair and shoved her up on there. She's doing more or less all right, apart from she just finished radiotherapy. And she's got to be careful in the sun because otherwise she could start to crack open, apparently.
Yeah.
She's got to watch what she's doing. But what a trip of a lifetime, really. A friend over there's got loads of things organised for her to see and do. Not too taxing that, but just, to do that. And she's got most of the kids with her. There's only one that didn't want to go. The little boy's only 14. And he's challenging sometimes, shall we say. He knows what he wants in life and he knows what he don't want in life, and he's not frightened to tell you when he don't want it.
You didn't want to go to Australia?
He didn't want to go to Australia. She said, "Are you coming to Australia?" He said, "No." "Oh, come on, it'll be nice." "No." And that was the end of it. We had a christening the other way. "You coming to the christening?" "No." "Why not?" "I don't want to." And that was the end of it. The thing is, if you get him
Stuart
there,
Valentine's out there as well, so she gets stuck her out. We've got Stu out there.
Whereabouts is he? Is he in Perth?
No, I think he's off somewhere near Melbourne, I think. Is it?
I don't know. It's a
might be
big
wrong.
place,
I might be wrong.
I know Birdman.
He's coming over. He's coming over for the expo.
There you go.
He's coming to stay with me.
I ought to bring Lou. They'll be able to talk Australian together.
Yeah. Good day.
Good day, Bruce. I knew somebody that actually went there, and she had an Australian accent when she got back. She'd only been there 3 weeks. It was a bit suspect.
It happens, doesn't it, when people come back from places like that.
Mm.
Oh, that's what we say when we're there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've been to Spain about 50 million times, and I've still only got to Cerveza and Ola, and that's me done. I can read the menu.
You don't notice you even do. I mean, you start talking, and it's you don't even notice it. It's just whenever you get around people that you knew before, all of a sudden, it's like even just dialect within different places of the U.S. And then I went in the Navy, and I'm around all these other people, and whenever I went home, I would say something about dogs or whatever else, and my mom would be like, "Dogs? What's that?" I said, "Dog, like the German Shepherd." "Oh, you mean dog?" I was like,
"Dogs." I think sometimes it's like obviously we're doing this. We talk to a lot of people in a lot of different countries. And sometimes I do swap a word. If I'm talking to somebody from America, instead of explaining what I've just said, I'll say the word that they do.
Yeah.
I was doing something the other day, and I nearly said a convenience store. Well, we don't have convenience stores, do we?
Yeah, I've done that with lads from US.
Yeah.
Well, you have convenience stores. You just don't call them that.
No, that's right. Yeah.
It's the only thing here is it's just convenient to run down the block here and get something at that little corner place. That's a convenience store. That's all it is.
We have
The
corner
kids
shops.
do it as well. You know, if they're watching Friends or something like that,
Oh,
they
yeah.
come down, they'll go candy or
Mm.
sofa.
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
Yeah.
it's a settee and it's sweets.
Yeah. Hey, I like their word better. What can I say?
Well, so there is a lot of words that Americans do say which exactly describe what they said it is, like candy. You know, it's like, if you say sweets, it can mean anything, can't it? Well, that is sweet. But if you say candy, you know exactly what you're on about, don't you? You know, I can't think of them off now because I've just thought about it. But
I think sofa, I think ours is a bit better with settee.
yeah, settee. Yeah, but where does the word settee come from?
I don't know.
You know,
Well, if you're gonna, if there's a
Couch.
place to sit and you sit in it, you are the settee.
Yeah.
Or no, you're the
for sure.
setter. Yeah, you're the setter.
Yeah.
The settee is what the setter sits on the settee, I guess. I don't,
Who's on first base?
Asda is not convenient.
So would that be like if you are the shitter, then you sit on the shitty?
Shitter.
Yeah, well, that has a million different names, doesn't it? WC,
Yeah.
Bog,
Oh yeah.
Lou,
Yeah.
The crapper, because that's the bloke who
Yeah.
made it,
The
wasn't it?
John.
Frank. Yeah,
The
Bob.
John here because of
the head.
John. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank. I know he said Frank Crapper, but I don't think it was. I think I'm getting mixed up with Frank Zappa.
Couch, that's another one for it. How does couch get anywhere near a settee?
Yeah.
I don't know. Crisps, chips, and fries. I went into a restaurant in Florida and I ordered steak and chips. He said, "You mean fries?" I said, "Well, yeah, I do." Yeah. She said, "Don't ask for chips here, honey. You'll end up with a bag of crisps."
Yeah.
Just imagine bringing it back, can't you? A big T-bone and a bag of Walkers on the side of it.
I hope that's salt and vinegar.
I'll give you a dad joke. Do you know what frogs eat in France? They
No.
eat French flies.
Oh.
You know, I've never heard that one, and we're a lot nearer to France than you were.
Fridge flies. That one,
Right.
Bob.
We really need to go. Catch you soon, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks ever so much, lads, for coming on. If you want to pop in, anybody that's got the number, you can. But unless your name's Connor, because you're not.
Yeah.
Or you can, really. But don't ask any weird questions like you normally do.
That's right. Yeah. No
Right,
questions will be answered. Yes.
We'll catch you next week anyway, everybody. Thanks ever so much for coming in. And if you want to nip over and join that Facebook group, and there's also a YouTube channel that I've put together, which I thought we could maybe put a bit of information out on at some point. But we've only got 63 subscribers at the minute, so we need a few more. Catch you later, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.